What is up, everybody? Here with a different kind of video for you today. Today we are going to be doing my top 6 favorite movie studios. It's not just mainly based on performance or anything, but it's like based on their whole body of work and like their content that they make and how they go about doing their business. But number 6 would be Lionsgate. They do mainly cheaper movies, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Everyone thinks that it has to be a big blockbuster budget movie. When it's like a cheaper movie, it doesn't have to be as big of a success for the studio to make money. And a lot of these studios seem to have forgotten that, except for Lionsgate. They do a lot of like action movies like The Expendables and stuff like that, Jason Statham movies. And it's all really great. And of course, a lot of people love their steelbooks as well. So, I mean, a lot of positives with Lionsgate. It's just their content's just not up there with the other ones as far as that goes, but they have a huge catalog, especially after acquiring Summit Entertainment a few years ago as well. Number 5 would be Paramount. They used to be huge back in the day, but after I'd say about 2007, they seem to have fallen on hard times. I know they just sold to Skydance, and I'm kind of interested to see how that's going to work out. Hopefully Skydance is able to turn the studio around. But like right around that time, they lost all the Marvel movies. They didn't know what to do with G.I. Joe. And then they just did Transformers to death and never got beyond that. So they're one of those studios that was never able to get around, like, oh, it has to be a huge blockbuster instead of just making quality movies that people want to see. But they do have a great library of great titles as well, which is always nice. But hopefully they can turn it around. Then we've got number 4, which would be Walt Disney Pictures for me. Again, these guys, beyond Marvel, they seem to kind of rehash the rehash. It's always sequels of animated movies or live action remakes of animated movies. No original content whatsoever, which kind of disappoints me, which is why they're further down on this list. I wish they would go back to making like Remember the Titans, Glory Road, things like that, inspirational kind of movies. They've kind of seemed to have lost that. So that's why they're further down that. And now their prices for all their media has gone up since Sony started making all their physical media as well. But hoping that Disney will get off this sequel and remake train. Then we have Warner Brothers. I know they are on extremely hard times as far as their movie studio as well, probably going in the way of Paramount. Eventually I bet they'll be sold. But at least they make originals content. They just don't always make remakes upon remakes upon remakes. So I'll give them credit for that. But again, they're a studio that seems to think that everything has to be a huge blockbuster success when it doesn't have to be. So that's why they're a little bit further down on this list as well. But again, great library of content for Warner Brothers. Then we have Columbia Pictures, which is probably the smartest movie studio out of all of them, which is owned by Sony. And that is because they are the one movie studio that doesn't have a streaming service or feels they need their own streaming service and put themselves into debt doing so. They are smart knowing that all these streaming services are going to need content that they can't afford to continue to make themselves. So they'll just go to the highest bidder and just rake in the money. And I give them 100% credit for that. They make quality content as well. They're not one of those studios that feels that every movie has to be a huge blockbuster. They just want to pump out nice, good content. It might not be a huge mainstream success movies, but still, good job, Columbia. Thumbs up to you. And then the best studio, I think, is Universal. Just as far as their model and how they've run since Comcast has acquired them is phenomenal. They became one of the most profitable studios out there because beyond Fast and Furious, they don't get on the huge blockbuster train all the time. They do jump on it every once in a while, but not all the time. They will make those like cheap Liam Neeson action movies, things like that. They run their streaming service lean and mean. They don't feel they have to pump out a load of content to fill it up. They'll just fill it up as it goes on organically, which is why I don't get, these studios have huge libraries, but yet they feel they have to make all this new content instead of just adding older content and keeping it on there. But it is what it is. Universal is right up there with Columbia as far as the way they run things. in my opinion. You know, definitely comment down below what you think about these movie studios. 20th Century Fox would be on this list if it hadn't been acquired by Disney, because they also were really good at making original content as well. But sad to see them disappear. But it is what it is. But that does it for this video. If you like content like this, please like and subscribe. Your support is much appreciated. I am also over on Letterboxd. The link to that is in the profile description of this channel. Otherwise, until next time, guys.